Another nice treat. One of the advantages of doing what I do is I get to meet random people that I've followed and looked up to for a while. Don Martin, welcome to On the Water Anarchy.
Hey, thank you.
How are you, brother?
Great, great.
So, 6 days of Moth sailing. How many protests?
Well, we didn't have any. We didn't have much work to do here. I guess they're pretty motivated to not touch each other.
Yeah, you see what happens when they do touch.
Yeah, we had a couple of close ones today at closing speed of 30, 35, 40 miles an hour.
And you're out there in a jury boat, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Just keeping
but you're not calling kinetics or anything like that?
No, we're not doing any on-water judging either for kinetics or mark touching or anything like that. Basically just getting a feel for the boats is the reason we're out there, and so we can understand what's happening if we ever did end up in a hearing.
Right, right. Quick question about that. There's been a little bit of chatter about, and this really is not a protest-friendly crowd. Like, nobody protests at these events. The vibe is not there, as well as the fact that you said, you know, they're motivated not to hit each other, but still, these guys, it's just such a closely knit vibe.
Yeah.
But there's been a little chatter about some of the pumping that you use to get up on the foils. Is that sort of something that maybe shouldn't even be worried about, because once you're up on the foils, it doesn't help you to pump anyways? Yeah,
that's the answer, and I know we changed the rules in the 29er recently to basically allow pumping, and as soon as the wind's over 7. I don't think these boats would even race if the wind was under 7.
Right.
So I don't think Rule 42 has any application for these boats. The other thing is the penalty rule. You know, they've got a 360 rule in place here. I was personally thinking it should be changed perhaps to a masthead in the water rule. That'd be
just a quick
hell of a lot easier to get your masthead in the water and out again than it would be to do a 360.
Yeah, they struggle to spin around these boats.
But seriously, in the kiteboard worlds last week in San Francisco, we were using a 20% penalty rule, 8-point penalty. And I think for these boats, and particularly the way, as you say, with the way the group is so close knit, I think a 6-point or 8-point penalty for an infraction would be the way to go. And what they do in the sailboards and kites of having a redress if somebody forces you to capsize, it's almost sure that if there's a rule infraction, that the boat that's been fouled is going to have and they're going to be pushed way back.
Right.
So I think redress is appropriate for that, but I think it should happen with a penalty of, say, 6 or 8 points to the boat that the foulor.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So I think the 360 penalty should be dispensed with as well, and just changed into an X-point penalty.
Fair enough. It seems to make sense. I mean, it takes these guys like a minute or more to spin around. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. And I think the fact that you know the kiteboards and the moths that are being embraced by ISAF is a good thing, but globally. But I think that the rule makers have got to spend a little time out on the race course, either hopefully sailing some of these boats or at least watching them before they decide exactly how the rules should be framed. Yeah, and I really think that the rules of our sport need to be reframed, or at least rejigged to accommodate these classes.
Yeah. Well, we've been working on a couple of things in that vein.
Yeah.
So let's switch gears. You talk about guys getting out on the boats and sailing. What have you been doing lately? I know you're not building boats anymore. You're designing a lot of cool things. What do you got going on?
Well, actually, after my next regatta, I'm going to the 6-meter worlds, and we're going to race pianos, as we call it. I'm sailing a 75-year-old boat, Fife designed 6-meter.
Wow.
In that regatta in Newport, Rhode Island.
Wow. And are the 12-meter worlds are there too this year?
Yeah, they're right behind the 6-meter worlds.
Right. That should be interesting. Want to send us a report?
Hey, that'd be fun.
All right, write us a 6-meter report. I love the boats are amazing.
Yeah.
Obviously, there'll be people shooting it all over the place.
Yeah, they're very cool boats.
So what else you got coming out? What's coming from the board of Don Martin in the next year?
Well, we did a new sailing school boat, which everybody's kind of confusing with our 242 and 243, but this new one, the 244, is very much sailing school oriented.
Explain.
Because
I've done some teaching on a Colgate 26, which is supposed to be a sailing school boat.
Yeah.
It ain't a good boat for sailing school.
Well, this boat's got a very, very deep cockpit with heavily dished seats, and the people sit down in the seats, and the boat heels over, and they say, I can't get out of this seat. And I say, thank you very much, because when you're racing it, you can sit on the weather side and sail in that style, but it's in the sailing school mode. The people are down and secure and can pay attention to what's going on in terms of learning to sail.
Is it reasonably quick?
It's pretty good. It's got a deep bulb keel, and the keel lifts up. It's a ramp launchable boat, hinge mast, that kind of thing.
Who's building that?
It's being built in Vancouver by a company that's associated with Cooper Boating. It's the biggest sailing school, I guess, in Western Canada.
Great. Anything else? Any big boats?
Actually, I just bought a boat.
What'd you get?
Which is pretty unusual for me. I think it's probably the first boat I ever bought in 40 years in the business. But this boat was designed by Charles Nicholson right when he was designing Endeavour. It's a baby Endeavour, an R boat, which is a little smaller than Cotton Blossom, the next size down from Dennis's Q boat. And
that's like what, 44 feet?
It's 40 feet, yeah. And we're having a R boat revival in the Pacific Northwest, which used to be the epitome of competition in between Vancouver and Seattle. So Seattle has restored an R boat, and we're working on it. That's going for October of next year.
Great. All right, Don. Well, look, thank you for talking to us, and hopefully you go back and watch some of the videos and see some of the stuff when you get home. But we'll certainly look for some info from the 6 Meter Worlds. Wish you the best of luck.
Well, thanks a lot, and keep up the good work at Sailing Anarchy. It's gosh, there's an awful lot of people that I talk to that never watch Sailing Anarchy, but they sure know what's going on. They can quote the articles word for word, and I know I'm there every day.
Some of us are more honest than others. Thanks, Don. Appreciate it.